Shalom, friends. Welcome to Daf Reactions on the Road Edition, Bava Kamma 16. I just got back from learning and reacting to some Talmud with Beth El Synagogue. Thank you so much for inviting me. And yeah, I decided to come back and talk more about Talmud. So let's get into today's Daf. So the sages of the Talmud are many things. They wear many hats. And on today's page, they are unexpected zoologists. As we established in our last episode, one of the categories of civil damages in the Talmud is ox. It may be named ox, but it's not just about oxen. You, the owner of said ox or cow or wildebeest, are responsible if they cause damage to somebody else's body or their property. Things can go sideways real quick, especially if a cow is pushing you that way. But the penalty you have to pay to the victim of these animal crimes depends on if that animal was just sort of doing something you would expect an animal to do, it's anticipated, or if it was a repeat offender with malicious intent. If an animal did some of these actions a few times but isn't a flight risk and has deep ties to the community, well, then they become forewarned. They get a warning, they get a citation. Well, I mean, they are forewarned, but it's really you who gets the warning that your water buffalo has some sort of dark personal vendetta. You didn't know, but now you do, so take them to therapy before they do more harm. According to the Talmud, there are some animals that are so dangerous that they are always considered to have been forewarned. So the wolf, the lion, the cocaine bear, the leopard, and the snake. But there is another animal on this list. It's called the bardalas. The Gemara says, "What is that?" And Rav Yehuda says, "Oh, that's an afretza." And the Gemara goes, "Okay, what is an afretza?" And Rav Yosef goes, "Oh, that's an appa." And the Gemara goes, "Wait, this math ain't mathing." Rav Yosef said that an appa is a hyena, so how can it be the mysterious bardalas? Whatever the fuck that is. So apparently a bardalas is a female hyena. And these are very different things because of the following highly provable, well-documented, peer-reviewed scientific facts. As it is taught in a Baraita, a male hyena after 7 years transforms into a bat, and after 7 more years into a different kind of bat, and then 7 more years after that into a thistle. And then 7 years after the thistle, it turns into a briar. And then finally, 7 years after that, it becomes a demon. Possibly Morbius. This part truly blew my mind. Okay, so 7 years after a person passes away, their spine metamorphosizes into a snake. The Gemara says, well, let's not take it too far. A spine only turns into a snake if a person doesn't bow during the Amidah prayer. Come on, let's be realistic. This snakeetry brought up a lot of questions for me. Jews are supposed to be buried with all of our body part components so that when the Messiah arrives and the righteous are resurrected, it'll be super easy to do that. And that will not be as convenient if our spines are completely AWOL. Hopefully Steve Irwin of blessed memory can be resurrected first, and then he can help the rest of us find our snake spines. Now you might be wondering, why the hell are we even talking about these animals? Did people really have domesticated lions? Didn't we learn anything from Tiger King? No. I could not help but think during this entire daf how amazing it would have been if this discussion about animal behaviors, believable and not so much, was narrated by the one, the only, David Attenborough. Like this was a very unusual episode of Planet Earth. Imagine that whole paragraph about the metamorphosis of hyenas into bats in his voice over time-lapse footage from hidden cameras out in nature gathered over decades. I would curl up on the couch with my undomesticated feral street dog and watch the hell out of that. Wait, are we sure? Are we sure that a bardalas isn't a Chihuahua Pitbull hybrid with a bark that pierces through time and space? I know it seems implausible, I do, and yet somehow it still seems more believable than a morphing hyena. That's all I'm saying.